Let's talk more golf now with a golfing couple. Ewan Porter and Annabel Rolley join us on News and Views. We should start with ladies first. When you are a very good golfer, what's it like being with a very good golfer?
Absolutely wonderful. As a professional golfer and someone that's extremely passionate about golf, it's really not there's no better situation. I've got my personal coach, caddy, psychologist, and he's available 24 hours a day. So it's really perfect for us.
Yeah, very handy. What do you have, a hit every now and again? You win a few skins as to who'll do the dishes?
I was going to say, tell the truth. No, there's a dishwasher for that. But no, it's been a pretty good 2 years for us. And we met during the Australian Open at Royal Sydney in 2008. And we've had a very interesting 2010. We've been in the US, and I know you guys will probably get onto that, but it's been a very interesting year, that's for sure. There's been a lot of ups and downs.
You met at the Australian Open, and we'll get to that shortly, but let's go back to the start of this year, where I imagine the relationship must have been under a little bit of pressure given the start to your year.
Yeah, it was. We went over on Valentine's Day to the US. I went over there to play the nationwide tour. And Annabel...
I had every intention of working, teaching golf, but unfortunately the working visa couldn't eventuate for me, so I ended up Ewan's travel companion and support figure for the year, so it was good.
Well, you won the South Georgia tournament, and at the time, if you didn't, was it curtains? Were you going to head back to Australia and give up your dream, if you like?
Pretty much. I'd played 4 or 5 events on the nationwide tour prior to that, and I'd missed every cut. And obviously the bank balance was getting a little low, and the way they reshuffle the players on the nationwide tour based upon how much money you've made. Obviously, I had $0 next to my name. And as it turned out, I needed to finish top 20, top 25 at that event to continue playing for the rest of the year. And lo and behold, I went and won it. And that obviously, well, the way I played the next few months, I tell everybody it delayed the misery for another few months after that. But it was a special week, and to have Annabel there after what we'd been through a hell of a lot in the week or two prior to that was pretty special.
Are you a different golfer as a result of that victory, mentally and even with what you can produce now, do you think?
Yeah, well, that was Moonar back in 2008, and I'd had a run of good form leading into that week, and obviously, being my first tournament victory, that was pretty special. But you know, to go through what I've been through the last 24 months, and then on American soil, which is probably the most difficult place to win in the world, being so competitive, it meant a hell of a lot, and obviously to have, you know, the person I care about the most there too was pretty special.
And Annabel, you've put your career on hold pretty much for the last 12 months to go and follow you, but you're a good golfer in your own right, playing on the Australian Ladies Tour. What's coming up for you this summer?
We've got the ALPG season kicking off this week, actually. Starts with a series of Pro-Ams. They're basically the lead-up events to the 5 big tournaments. So you've got the Australian Open, the Australian Masters, and the Pegasus New Zealand Open. So basically those events attract international superstars as well as the top Australian players, and yeah, no, I think it's wonderful that all the top Aussie girls can come home and support the ALPG events.
If all goes well, what would you like to do? Do you look any further than the next few months?
Yeah, I have aspirations to play, but for 2011, I'm sort of craving a little bit of stability after the roller coaster ride of this year. So I'm happy to be based in Sydney for next year, but probably I'll give one of the tour schools a go at the end of next year.
And you're at the Australian Open this week, of course, at the lakes. The forecast isn't good. Might be a few lakes on the fairways and greens. How are you going to handle that?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, having played in the US the last 2 or 3 years, any time there's rain within 100 miles, there's storms with it. So we get off the golf course and go straight to the locker room. But you know, we played in the Masters in the rain at the Masters 3 weeks ago, and it felt like about -10 down there. We had about 4 or 5 layers on and the umbrellas up, and looks like it'll be the same again this week. But I was a member of the Lakes for 6 years, and even though they've redesigned it, you know, I've managed to play the golf course half a dozen times since they have redesigned it, and I'm actually a pretty big fan of the new layout, and I'm a bit of a fair weather golfer. I don't like playing in that rain and wind, but you know, it does sort the men out from the boys. So whatever it brings, I'm ready.
We know that Long John Daly is creating some headlines in the lead up to the tournament, but whether he's doing that on the final day is yet to be seen. Who do you expect to be creating the headlines on the final day, if it's not yourself, of course, because we should say that you'll be right in the mix, we hope.
Well, I hope so. A lot of people haven't spoken about him, but Aaron Baddeley. I give Bads a big chance around here. He's won around here before, even though it was the old layout. It was 2001, the Greg Norman Holden Classic, and I think the way the golf course is designed now, they've opened up the fairways a little bit. They've opened up the tee shots. They're not as intimidating, and Bads' Aaron's driving accuracy is probably his weakest statistic, and I'm not saying he's a bad driver of the ball at all. He's got a great golf swing, but if anything lets him down, it is the driver, and everybody knows how well he putts, and with the greens as diabolical as they are, and with it being windy, I give him a huge chance come Sunday. So if you've got a spare $5, go straight down to Sportsbet and put it on him.
Fox Sports News Bet Summer Edition, isn't it, Matty?
Indeed it is. Would you caddy for each other? Are you allowed to do that?
Interesting.
How's that going to work?
Dynamic.
Been there, done that. Annabel's she caddied for me for 2 weeks, and I'm not the easiest boss in the world. But last year I actually had a few months off due to injury and caddied for Annabel in a few of her assistant pro matches here in Sydney, and even a couple of interstate. And she did really, really well. Annabel's a lot more placid than I am.
Well, if you're looking for a Christmas gift for Annabel, I've been given this from Team Vodafone. It's the Oda engine, if you'd like to...
Give yourself a squirt with it.
Give yourself a squirt, see what you think of it.
Isn't it called Yum? Is that right? No.
You've seen an earlier bulletin where one silly reader got it mixed up, but it is absolutely horrible stuff.
He sprayed it on me.
Yeah,
there you go,
yeah.
We might just give that to Annabel, eh?
In all seriousness, good luck at the Australian Open and good luck on the ladies' tour over the next few months. We hope it is a smoother start to 2011 than what 2010 was for you both.
I hope so. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. Well, we're going to head down to Melbourne now, where Sarah Jones has more for us.
Thank you very much.